What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the North Shore 9 Postgame show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm Jim. With me is Dougie Fresh. Doug, we've got a walk-off to talk about today.
Hashtag raise it, boys and girls. Yeah, it was. We were going to have a decidedly different conversation just a few short minutes ago, but Yasmani Grandal must have thought Skeens was pitching and just crushed one, and here we are talking about a win.
Yeah, it was the bottom of the ninth. Pirates were down by 1. I was ready to hop on here and I was about to get upset about Derek Shelton putting in the wrong reliever in the 7th. I was about to get upset about Ben Cherington just equipping this roster with just useless players game after game. But you know what? We're going to hold off on all that because guess what? It's a win. We're happy.
All of that's still true.
It's true. It all still
all of
happened.
That is still true, but
all still happened.
But however,
you know what? Pirates won, which means we're in a good mood. And we're going to talk about, a really fun Pirates victory today. So get your hashtag raise-its in there. We'll dissect everything. But before we do, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason, NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor pool for the upcoming season. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here. All right, Doug. I think we got to start off. There's plenty to talk about today, but let's just start off with the fireworks, right? You had Alexis Diaz come in for the Reds to hold on to a 3-2 lead. Diaz hasn't had a blown save since May 13th. May 13th. He's converted his last 16 save opportunities, if I'm counting correctly here. So he's been pitching really, really well lately. And the Pirates are able to, first off, get a runner on base. Brian De La Cruz with an infield single. I'm sorry, no. Brian De La Cruz hit by a pitch.
No, hit by
a pitch. And then I was looking at the top of the 9th inning when Ellie De La Cruz had an infield single. No, Brian De La Cruz hit by a pitch with 1 out. And then Yaz just gets a pitch up in the zone and he hammers it 393 feet to right center field. That's his 7th home run of the year. A walk-off win. We've definitely said our fair share of bad things about Yasmani Grandal lately, but hey, Pirates won today with a Yasmani Grandal walk-off. So we love it. We love it today, Doug.
Credit, right? Yeah, credit where credit is due, right? He's the hero of the day. Again, like you said, there was a lot of the same stuff we've seen, some of the same frustrations, but in the end, baseball's a funny game. And a guy like Yasmani Grandal can hit a home run off a guy that's got 16 consecutive saves. And these are the moments that you need in a season. These are the opportunities you have to take advantage. And what the Pirates did today. They got the win. Not always pretty, but again, it's a win. And I don't care if it's O'Neal Cruz hitting it. I don't care if it's Alika Williams. Let it be Yasmani Grandal. Just get it over the fence, right?
Right. It doesn't matter who does it as long as someone does. Grandal comes up huge in the 9th there. Again, Diaz was pitching really, really well lately. I was not expecting that at all. Like I was getting ready to get set up here. I was like, man, I actually, the banner.
I had
see
my rants already prepared.
Yeah, like you see the banner that you see already at the bottom here. Like I had already updated the record with the loss. I had already I had the title ready to go. Like Pirates blow lead in 7.
And I was going to tell you. I was going to tell you you had the title wrong. The title's got to be Pirates Got a Pirate, because that's what they had done. They got good starting pitching, and did not support it. Relievers that have actually been pretty effective recently, blew it. Shelton makes a questionable call by not bringing in all the same stuff that have cost us game after game after game. I was ready. I was ready to say, man, you get 3 runs. You've got Grandal, Alika Williams, and Michael A. Taylor coming up. The decision making's bad, the roster's bad, but no. Instead, we're grinning ear to ear like a bunch of dummies, and and we believe for one more day. And I think Jared Jones pitches tomorrow, so it's like, all right, I'm excited again for Pirate baseball. I can be depressed and cranky later.
Yeah, I mean, 3 out of 4 against the Reds. Like this is what you needed to do, right? And it just takes you back to, without that 10-game losing streak, these 3 out of 4, like we're flying high right now. But alas, they're really not in it. But yeah, I mean, you take 3 out of 4 at home against the Reds. The Pirates really just flat out looked like the better team this series. They got beat up pretty bad yesterday, but the Reds made their fair share of mistakes all weekend long, as well as the Pirates, and the Pirates just came through when they needed to more. So yeah, it was a nice win, 4-3.
Exactly. I mean, it was a bad weekend for fundamental baseball on both sides.
It was,
but I mean, although we see it all the time, we watch the Pirates every game, and we, go on and on and on about the minutia, but who didn't run out who admired their double, who threw to the wrong base, who didn't hit the cutoff man. And then the other team comes in and we see them making very similar mistakes. So I imagine if we watched, I remember when the Giants came in and they just tried to give us games, and the Giants do it. The Dodgers, I've several times against San Diego, I watched them make terrible plays. And if we watch them for 162, we'd probably see more of it too. But the Pirates, I guess, made just a few less mistakes than the Reds did, and just enough to get 3 wins. They got beat up yesterday, but you'll take 3 out of 4 against any team, anytime. Right. The playoffs are, those are out the door, but you still want to finish. You want to finish better than you finished last year. You want individuals to perform well. There's still things to pay attention to and parse and just nitpick about. And we'll be here after every game to do that for you.
There you go.
Jim will probably be here tomorrow morning to do it for you.
Yeah, we'll talk about Starbucks. We got a lot to talk about on Starbucks tomorrow. But you mentioned, you want to finish the season strong. You want to see individual performances leading into the off season, so you can feel good about some certain players heading into next year. So let's talk about that. One of the guys who had a great individual performance today, Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz, he's been going through a little bit of a rough stretch. His last start gave up 4 runs, 2 runs, 4 runs, 6 runs, 3 runs. He just hasn't really had that really good start in a while. But today gave up some base runners here and there, but limited, runners getting in scoring position. 6 innings, 4 hits. He only walked 1 batter, 5 strikeouts. Didn't give up a run. He lowers his season ERA, Doug, to 3.36, which means that we're now sitting at, let's see, for the season, we're at 107 innings pitched for Luis Ortiz with a 3.36 ERA. He had his ups and downs, last year last year was a bad year for him, right? This year you've kind of seen him having his ups and downs, but you take this from Luis Ortiz. Like, you've got to be really happy with what you've seen from Ortiz this season. I don't know if you necessarily, and I threw this out on Twitter earlier, but he's a guy who's going to be competing for a rotation spot next year. I mean, you've got a rotation that's going to be, assuming everyone stays healthy, you're going to have Keller, Skeens, Jones, and probably Oviedo that are pretty much locks for that rotation coming out of spring training. So then you got that 5th spot, and you've got Ortiz in the mix, you got Falter in the mix, you've got, like Ashcraft in the mix, and then you maybe bringing in like a veteran free agent to be in the mix there too. But like, he's absolutely in the mix there for a rotation spot. Whereas going into this year, I was just like, whatever. And, Luis Ortiz can be in the bullpen if he wants, but like, I was pretty much over the guy.
Yeah, we were sort of done with him. And I think in the first game of the season, he pitched well it was either one of the first two. He pitched well. He pitched the 8th and 9th inning, or the 9th and 10th inning, something along those lines. And we thought, and you and I had this discussion, like, we should just keep him where he is. That was probably like 6 weeks into the season. Now he's doing fine, 2 innings here, 2 innings there, but he has pitched, and, he's pitched his way into the conversation. And it's nice to see a guy have an outing like he did today after struggling, because a lot of times we see guys come up and they have 8, 10 good outings, and then, the league sort of figures them out. They come back to earth, and it's never quite the same. So, he's had a little bit of struggles lately, but a nice bounce back. Hopefully he can continue doing that the rest of the season. He certainly, I will not be mad if, he's getting starting innings in preseason next year. He deserves that opportunity. He's been, again, the frustrating part of this season. He's been one of the miracles that's happened this season, something that nobody had counted on, nobody expected. And we've got, our 6th, 7th starter. I don't know where he is in the pecking order, with a 107 innings pitched and a 3.36 ERA.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was not on my bingo card. It was not on my parlay. I did not play that on Bet Online. So I've been thrilled with what he's been doing.
Well, I think you just got to look at, like, from a team standpoint, like, this team has had some pretty good pitching all year long. But if you look at just Pittsburgh Pirates team leaders in WAR this year, from the, and if you're using Baseball Reference WAR for pitching, which is what I like to use for pitching, and we can get into all that reason, but Fangraphs WAR uses FIP, Baseball Reference WAR uses like actual runs allowed, so it's like what actually happened in games. But Luis Ortiz is 5th on the Pirates in Baseball Reference WAR. He's the 3rd most valuable pitcher on this team, behind Skeens and Keller. So, like, that's how good he's been this year over the course of the entire season. Like, going into this, I did not. If you would have said Luis Ortiz was going to be your 3rd most valuable pitcher this season, I would have said you're crazy. But that's exactly what he's been.
Right. You would not have. That wouldn't have been one of your over under, right? You wouldn't have taken the over on that, or what have you. It's been really impressive, right? Again, if you told me he had a nice season out of the bullpen, I said, all right, it's possible. But I mean, he looked awful last year, right? And there was whispers about his, commitment and, his fitness and all that sort of stuff. So, we're a little down on him. So this is it's come out of not out of left field. I guess it's come out of the bullpen right into the starting rotation, and this team has needed that. They have needed that performance, and hopefully he can just build on it.
Yeah, he just looked really good today. 10 whiffs. The stuff looked good. Like, he was pumping 96. He hit 97, hit 99 one time. If we're rounding up, 98.5. So, like, the stuff has looked good. It's like he's back to the stuff that he had when he first came up. Last year, you saw that stuff kind of drop off. I feel like the stuff has taken that, a step up this year as opposed to last year. And he didn't really lose a lot of stuff moving from the bullpen to the rotation. So, like, yeah, just a really good bounce back year for Luis Ortiz. Regardless what happens this last month of the season, there's just a lot of positives there. And again, I'm not putting him in the starting rotation next year, like going into spring training, but he absolutely has a shot at one of those spots and deserves as much a chance at grabbing one as anyone else does.
Well, right. It's great that he's pitching so well that he's in the conversation, and that we're just not going to give the job to, maybe some scrap heap veteran or something like that. It's like, oh, they're going to sign this guy for $3 million, and he's getting it because no one's going to push him out of the way or push him into the bullpen. And it's like, again, who the first three guys are. And then, Ortiz is right in line there to be a fourth or fifth starter. Based on how he finishes this year and what he does off season and in spring training, but he should definitely be in the conversation and in the competition.
Yep. I agree 100%. Let's let's kind of get into how this game started. Again, Ortiz ran into some issues in the first inning. He hit two of the first three batters. His fastball was kind of all over the place. It was running in arm side quite
Shades
often.
Of Doc early. Ellis.
Yeah, it hits India up high too, hits him in the shoulder, bounces off his helmet, hits Stevenson like right in the side, but gets out of that with no runs. And then the Pirates go to work in the bottom of the first inning. Isiah Kiner-Falefa, who I can't say enough good things about this guy. Ever since arriving, even when his numbers didn't really translate to like being all that good. I just felt like he brought something of value to this team. He's just a professional baseball player. Like everything he does out there,
he's turning into my favorite player.
he really is.
Right,
like
he's turning into my favorite player. He's fun to watch.
Yep. Go on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we watch so many guys make so many mistakes, right? And it's just so refreshing. He gets the ball and he just does the right thing. He makes the right play. He makes the smart play. He has good at bats. He never seems overmatched. He doesn't seem like he's been brought down by the Andy Haynes approach to hitting. And it's just John Wayner said it on the radio broadcast today. He's a winning ball player. And I believe that wholeheartedly. I'm so glad we've acquired him. He's definitely going to have opportunity next year. He should be getting at bats just about every day. It's just, he just does the smart thing, the correct thing, the thing we're not used to seeing. We just see so many silly mistakes. He has. I don't think he's been picked off yet. I don't think he's admired his double. Standing at home. I don't think he's over. He did like the one time he overran second base. It generated a run and he was safe. So he's just a solid, good, winning baseball player, and we need 11 more like him.
Yeah, like I said it before, like give me an entire team of Isiah Kiner-Falefas, and that'll that'll be a good team, right? But again, you look at the numbers,
right,
and since coming over, he's hitting 247 with a 281 on base percentage, a 376 slugging percentage. He's got a 657 OPS, so it's not like he's not doing anything special.
Nope.
But it's just he's doing all the little things right. He's a good base runner. He's hustling. Quite frankly, like he's prime Josh Harrison. Like he's Josh Harrison, like back when he was causing havoc on the baseball field is what he reminds me of.
He reminds me of the guy that, every time a new manager gets hired, he talks about how we're going to play smarter. We're going to take the extra base. We're going to hit and rub. We're going to do all that. Isiah Kiner-Falefa is the kind of guy, he does all that stuff, right? He is that guy that, you think every manager just loves him. I can see him on a Jim Leyland team. Leyland would love him in the way that he loved Wayner and Cangelosi and those kind of guys. Mm-hmm. Like he's just, you're right. The numbers are not great, but when you look at our scoring, he's somewhere in the middle of it, right? He either moved somebody over, he got him, he walked and stole two bases. He's right in the middle of when we have a good inning. He always seems to be part of it, and then just so solid out in the field. So, he's just, like you said, Josh Harris, that's what he remember. He's like got a little spark plug thing to him. You can play him anywhere, and you're getting, you're going to get the right decisions in the field, and you're going to get good at bats.
Yep. So all that to say, he leads off the game with a single. O'Neal Cruz singles, Kiner-Falefa moves to third, and then Joey Bart. This actually, some newsworthy stuff here. Joey Bart ends up getting an RBI ground ball up the middle. Second baseman Jonathan India makes a nice play to get him out, but Bart was hustling down the line, and you could tell that it was either like right when he hit the bag or when he was kind of stopping going through the bag. He ended up getting injured. He had to leave the game after that. The Pirates did announce that he was removed due to left hamstring discomfort, and that he's currently being examined and treated by the medical staff, but it didn't necessarily look all that great live. So yeah, you hope that he's okay, but if he's not, that probably opens up the door for someone like Henry Davis to come up, because it's been a while for him.
Yes,
or maybe
that's what we think.
That's what we
it's
think.
It's going to be Josh Palacios, right?
Well, it's
like the
common
catcher,
sense
right?
Thing
here is
no, it's got to be a catcher. So it's going to be delay.
Like, we're so sure, like, oh, this should be Cook. No, it's Alico Williams. This should be, right. It should be a catcher, and it should be Henry Davis, just to see if he can do anything. However, well, I'll believe it when I see it. So I hope Bart gets well soon. He's obviously been a big part of our offense here lately. I think he's had 13 games in the leadoff spot, and he's got 12 RBI in him, something along those lines. So he is not, that's been anytime we put someone in the cleanup spot, their hitting prowess just disappears, and he has maintained his while playing at least decent enough catcher. So it's again another one of the many miracles that the Pirates have had this year that we seem to be wasting. But it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay, because like you mentioned, like he's been so good. He's been so good, especially in the cleanup spot, like you said. And him missing significant time would be bad. It would be bad, because he's also another guy where, he's played really well so far. But you're talking about like individual performances that you're looking to see throughout the end of the year. Joey Bart's another one of those guys. Like you want to see him as much as possible, just to keep feeling really good about him going forward, because it's still a pretty small sample size, right? But what we've seen so far has been awesome.
That's just, we don't want his performance to be damped down by the phrase small sample size, right? We want to get as many at bats, we want to get as much production, we want it to last the next 6 weeks or so we can say, look, it was a season's worth of production. So hopefully he can be back soon and get right back in the middle of things.
Yep. But so the Pirates take the 1-0 lead there in the first with the Joey Bart ground out, and then they end up taking another lead in the second. In the third, scoring another run in the third. Michael A. Taylor with a base hit. He gets to second on a fielding error. Isiah Kiner-Falefa, who you mentioned, who just does the little things right. He didn't drive in the run, but he put the ball in play, moved Taylor over to third, and then Brian Reynolds singled to center to score Michael A. Taylor. So 2-0 Pirates at that point. O'Neal Cruz singled after that. He did get picked off. Well, let's kind of explain this. So Cruz, second hit of the day in the third inning. He stole a base in the first inning. In the second inning, though, he gets picked off. What looked like he got picked off. Umpire called him safe. Reds challenge it. Call stands. It wasn't really a good angle to overturn the call. Then right after that, he gets picked off for real this time, which just kind of drew the ire of some legacy Pittsburgh media, some people on Twitter. It got people really upset, and it's like, he's an aggressive base runner. He took a gamble that he wasn't going to throw over again, and he did. And I mean, it was a good pickoff move. I got to say that too. But he gets picked off. I don't know. What are your thoughts on just, and we'll talk about this for just a minute here, but O'Neal Cruz, base running, mistakes. Talk to me about that, Doug, because some people were upset today.
I mean, here's the thing. Right. It's so far down our list of problems. It's so far. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Do I wish that happened less often? I certainly do. Do I wish he was more focused? Yes. I think that's going to come with playing time. I think that's going to come with just, more reps and I mean, he's still young. He's in his second season of Major League play. I don't want to make excuses. That stuff's got to stop. And you heard Leland and Bonds talking about that kind of stuff yesterday. And but it's not. First of all, it's not just him. Everybody on his team has been picked off second base 5 times, right? So it is a team-wide problem. So I would like to see focus on that from our management and coaching staff. I would like to see the players individually do better. It's frustrating when it happens. But again, he's an aggressive player. He has a ton of faith in his natural abilities. And again, to me, it's just so far down our list of problems that's him getting on base and whatever. I can't get that worked up about old and cranky and all of those things, but he has been a pretty good player. He's improved from his first season this season. I expect that to happen. And I expect that to be part of his growing process. If I'm the Pirates, do I get him some sort of a, sports, sports psychologist or something, maybe to work with him to keep him a little more focused and engaged in the game? Sure. Whatever it takes. But am I ready to run him out of town, run him out of shortstop or any of those sort of things? No, absolutely not. I want it to be part of his growth. And I think it's only fair that we give him that time. We're seeing improvement. I think we'll continue to see improvement.
Yeah. Well, I think it just goes back to, like, if you want somebody to be aggressive on the base paths too, like they're going to do some things that you don't like, because in order to be aggressive, it means of being aggressive all the time, right? It doesn't mean just being aggressive when it works. Like, being aggressive means you're aggressive. Sometimes it's going to pay out.
Right.
Sometimes it's going to pay off, and sometimes it's not, right? And today it didn't. Well, it paid off in the first inning, right, when he stole second. It didn't pay off in the third inning when he got picked off. So I think that's just the thing to keep in mind here. He leads the team in base running. And base running runs above average. So just throwing that out there, leads the team. He's actually 18th in baseball in that statistic among qualified hitters. He's in the 84th percentile in base running value, according to StatCast. So, like, everything out there says O'Neal Cruz is a good base runner. Now, speed has a lot to do with that. The faster you are, the better base runner you're going to be. But again, the aggressiveness, you either be aggressive or don't.
Well,
you got to pick it. But if
you can ask G1 Bay about that.
Yeah, like, if you want him to be aggressive, you're gonna get just frustrated sometimes, because aggressiveness.
Right. Yeah. If you want your quarterback to be aggressive, right, he's going to throw interceptions, right? Right. I mean, it's right. If you want your basketball player to be aggressive shooting threes, he's going to miss some, right? I mean, this is aggressiveness has a cost. You want more success than not, but right, there are going to be times where your player runs you out of an inning because he's an aggressive player. But when he gets first to third, when someone else would have stopped at second, or if he gets to second where someone else would have stopped at first, that adds up and it makes a difference, and it impacts winning. So I want him to continue to be aggressive. I want him, to steal 50 bases. I want him to. I want him to be running out there with reckless abandon, and I'll take a few, pickoffs and that sort of thing. It's part of it.
Yeah. Ellie De La
Ricky
Cruz,
Henderson got thrown out once in a while.
Ellie De La Cruz, by the way, who's third in baseball in base running runs above average. He's got 61 stolen bases. Hey, he got picked off today too. He got picked off twice this series, actually. Ellie De La Cruz did.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those.
Yeah, I say he's been picked off quite a bit. Yeah.
Yep. If you're fast and you're aggressive, you're gonna have frustrating moments. I think you're just gonna have to accept that. Like, you hope that those moments are minimized, but it's going to happen. So moving on, I just wanted to hit on that a little bit there. Ortiz continued rolling through the Reds lineup until after 6 innings. The 7th inning, well, again, we're already at 30 minutes here, but this is something I wanted to talk about going into today, was a lot of what happened here in the 7th inning. I have no issues Kyle Nicholas starting that inning out. He gets Rosario to ground out, but then gives up a single and a double. So you're like, okay, well, now this 2-0 lead, it's in danger. This is a very high leverage situation. It's the 7th inning. The tying run is on second. I've got one of the most electric hitters in baseball that I'm about to face. Let's bring in Jalen Beeks, Doug. Let's bring in the lefty Jalen Beeks. This was right off the bat, I just go, I'm not sure why you don't go Chapman here. Like, you're facing Ellie with 2-1 in the 7th, up by 2. This is the most important moment of the game. It's the most important moment of the game. And Derek Shelton turned to Jalen Beeks instead of Ellie De La Cruz, instead of Aroldis Chapman. And Jalen Beeks gave up 3 base runners and 2 runs in 2 pitches, which is pretty.
Didn't take long.
I mean, you gotta say it's pretty
efficient.
Impressive.
It was efficient.
Yeah. Pretty impressive.
Now, to Beeks' credit, to Beeks' credit, he had retired 10 consecutive batters. He had not given up an earned run in August, which means I'm assuming that means his entire Pirate career. So I would have preferred going with Chapman, but I'm not going to get too worked up. I was impressed how quickly he moved away from Nicholas when Nicholas didn't have it, because usually he'll just stick. And no problem with, like you, Nicholas was who you should have brought in there to start. He's been pitching well. It just didn't have it today. And after 8 pitches, he moved on to Beeks. But you're right. I mean, I say it all the time, a foolish consistency. Oh, we can only use this guy in this situation, in this inning, that sort of thing. And it's just it's silly. Shelton, I know when he got hired, talked about how he will go with matchups and all this stuff. He's not doing that this season, that's for sure. And it just seems like the smarter move would have been to go with Chapman. We went with Beeks, and Yasmani Grandal ended up bailing him out.
So here's what I'm going to tell you. You're wrong, Doug. I'm going to be with Ryan here. Ryan says you're wrong. I don't care. I don't care how good Jalen Beeks has been this month. I don't care, as Bridget Bucktober here says, Beeks has a .96 ERA, .96 WHIP, 1.99 FIP since coming to the Pirates. I don't care. Who's your better pitcher? It's a super high leverage situation. Like, it doesn't get more high leverage than this. The game is in flux right now. Who are you going to? Jalen Beeks or Aroldis Chapman? That's the question. I don't need to know what Jalen Beeks' numbers are in his last 10 appearances, because quite frankly, I don't care.
Because they're not as good as Chapman's, right? He's not as good as Chapman, right? You're right. I mean, I agree. Yeah. I was just...
I know what you were saying, but like, just game on the line, 2-1. You're facing you're probably facing the second best hitter in baseball in the National League right now. He's going to finish probably second in MVP voting in the NL. You're facing him. You don't put in Jalen Beeks when you've got Beeks, Chapman. That's it. Right. I know you're playing devil's advocate there, but like, that's, quite frankly, I don't care. I don't care about the numbers. I don't care what they've been doing lately. Chapman is the better guy. You paid Aroldis Chapman $10.5 million over this offseason to pitch in that exact situation, and they just didn't go to him. And guess what? It didn't work out. Single walk, and then an error, and then a walk. Like, it was just a disaster outing for Jalen Beeks. Luckily, Dennis Santana came in. And my God, this team has had, like, Dennis Santana has given this team some huge outs here over the last few weeks. But Dennis Santana comes in with the bases loaded, with 1 out, leaves them loaded, keeps the Pirates within 1 run, and then goes out there and pitches a scoreless 8th inning as well. So Dennis Santana saved this game. If it's me, like, Yasmani Grandal had the walk-off, but like, this game there was an opportunity for this game to go off the rails there in the 7th inning, and Dennis Santana didn't allow that to happen.
And so often for the Pirates, it does, right? Exactly. He came in and just put that fire out. He's been just outstanding. Get over his first outing, and since then he's just been terrific. Again, I'm looking at, it probably would have been better to pitch him than Beeks, to be honest with you, right? They walked Stevenson to get to, you could have brought in Santana and let him pitch to Stevenson and see what he could do from there. But bullpen management has not been the Pirates' strong suit this year, along with many other management decisions. So, yeah, I mean, Chapman seemed like the easy move. You bring in your right now, he's the best pitcher in the bullpen, and that was the biggest moment in the game. And you basically had given the game away. You got bailed out, but from management perspective, you lost that game with your decision making. So.
Yeah, huge 5 outs
what?
for Santana.
Tomorrow, we'll see a similar thing. Here comes Heller.
Yeah, huge 5 outs for Santana. I give him a ton of credit. He's been pretty good since getting acquired. And like I said, those were some huge outs that he put out there today. And like I said, that allowed the Pirates to win this one in the ninth. So Grandal with the walk-off. All in all, there was some things to get upset about today, but the Pirates win 4-3. They win. They take 3 out of 4 against the Reds, and we're giving away sandwiches. So I think it's about time for sandwiches, though. Then we've kept the people
absolutely
waiting. I think long enough here.
The people are hungry.
Yeah.
Let them eat sandwiches.
Let's get to that. We've got 90 entries in here, so if you haven't gotten in, just like Jameson here on the screen, hashtag. Doug, you're not eligible. You're not eligible, Doug. But hashtag.
You're not eligible too, but I see your hashtag in there. You just don't have the outstanding luck that I have.
There you go.
Just
like Jameson here. Hashtag raise it. Put it in the comments. We'll give you a few extra seconds here to do that. While we're giving you that time, let's click the like button on the video if you haven't yet. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you're watching us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we appreciate you guys. Like the video, follow us, subscribe, all that good stuff. You guys are awesome. If you're listening to this on the podcast after the fact, love you guys too. Leave a review if you haven't yet. But yeah, 93 entries. Let's go ahead and give out some sandwiches here. So good luck to all of the entries. And our winner is Chris Parnell. Congratulations. I think Chris has won
another loyal member of the chat.
Yeah. Chris is always here, but congratulations, Chris. 2 free Primanti Brothers sandwiches heading your way. Contact us on social media, whatever platform you use. And then or email us at northshore9@gmail.com. Either way, that way we can get our stuff out to you. But yeah, congrats. All right, 4-3 win. Starbucks tomorrow morning. Be there 7 a.m. with your coffee. Donardo and I will have a lot to talk about, I'm sure. The Pirates play the Cubs too, coming up in a 3-game set. That starts tomorrow. So no off games. Doesn't seem
like we have not played the Cubs all year, man.
It's been a while.
It's not playing the division. It's
yeah. It's been a while.
Sick of the Cubs by now.
It's been a while. Pirates haven't announced the starting pitching yet for that series, but it looks like it's going to line up Keller, Jones, Skeens, which would be pretty fun. So yeah, let's beat the Cubs. Yeah. Let's just keep winning. Let's keep winning until the end of the year.
Let's just keep winning. Let's finish strong so we can fool ourselves in the offseason when we sign a 42-year-old first baseman that, with a 205 OPS.
Yeah, let's just see what happens. Keep winning. All right, guys. We appreciate you all. Doug, good stuff today. And we'll be back tomorrow morning with some Starbucks. Pirates win 4-3. Catch you guys later.
See you guys.
Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.